one and all, and welcome back to another RWBY discussion. I am your only mate, and with me as always is...
The Max of your trades, this time with noticeably less audio delay. How y'all doing today? Good? That's what I thought.
You know what, I didn't even notice there wasn't an audio delay this time.
Yeah!
Which is
Well,
kind of
there
sad,
you
because we've
go.
been talking for a couple hours.
Yeah, we have. We don't get to talk too much, so when we do get the chance, we always make use of the good times.
Yeah.
So, well, today we've got ourselves a brand new RWBY episode to talk about, Volume 8, Episode 9, Witch. Now,
Burn
I know
the
what you're
witch.
wondering. Indeed, Burn the Witch, but the real question is, and I know you're all asking the same, which witch is it?
Which witch?
I'll tell you which witch it is. It's the Switch Witch. That's right. The Switch Witch. The Switch. Oh, man. Okay. No, I thought of another thing that rhymes with it, but I'm not going to say it. You all know what it was. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anything to discuss before we jump into the episode proper?
Nothing that's too relevant. There's one thing I'll bring up that we'll save until the end, probably.
I think I know what it is. Alrighty then. Then we're going to watch this here dang on episode. I mean, we already did, but we're going to talk about it, and you're going to listen to it for reasons. It's crazy.
I kind of forgot to mute the episode there.
Well, you might want to do that, otherwise it's going to show up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all you would have heard was just a slight engine sound.
Yeah. The engine of war. And you know, I gotta be honest, man. Every time I see this
Not to
whale...
make that joke.
Yeah, indeed. The fact of the matter is, this whale seems almost bigger every time we see it, somehow.
I mean, you get that
Like-
a lot in shows, where it's just like, yeah, its size is super inconsistent.
Right, no, I understand that much. It's just I'm wondering, how powerful is, like, okay, assuming, I know we haven't really gotten to there, but it was brought up in a previous one. I gotta wonder, how powerful is this bomb? Assuming it works and blows up the whale, how powerful would it have to be to destroy this whole thing? It's like the size of a town.
I don't know. I want to say at least in the kilotons.
Yeah, that probably would make sense. Regardless, it's time for Team Blondies and Ren to do what they need to do. What they need to do. What?
I kind of want to correct a little mistake that I made in my reaction.
Oh, what was that?
So, you know, the camera just like swims past all those soldiers and then all the different Grimm, and you see them tiny ones that are just crawling. At first I saw them, I thought, oh, those are baby Deathstalkers, like you saw in Amity and Rena all the time, which, by the way, rest in peace.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was a decent game.
Yeah. Although, upon my second watch through, I realized, no, they aren't baby Deathstalkers, those are silverfish.
Indeed they are.
Yeah, which is the Grimm that won the design competition.
Huzzah!
I want to see them, like, form together to form that giant monstrosity that it can do.
Yeah, no, that's got to be a thing at some point.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that we've corrected the sins of our past, I guess, it's
Well, the
time
sins
for
of mine,
Team...
at least.
Look, I'm sharing the burden with you. It is what I do as a friend. Now, it is time for the Blondies and Ren to do what they need to do, and that is run around in a whale, and they do not know where they're going. And I love the fact that Sean is like, yeah, I have no idea what the plan here was. Luckily, Ren happened to unlock a superpower that literally solves that problem.
Convenient.
Very. So Ren's able to use his, sensing of emotions and what have you, to at least at the very minimum. Like, I don't think he can tell who it is, but he can sense emotions and where they are. And, well, Grimm can't do that, so that must be somebody. Let's go see if it's the person we're looking for. Good enough strategy, I suppose.
Could you imagine if he just ran into, like, the worst person? Like, if they did that and ran into Salem.
Yeah, it's like, man, I'm sensing someone cripplingly lonely. Like, whoa.
Well,
Learned something about Salem.
Well, that could be Salem or Emerald.
Fair. Regardless, luckily, Ren's new power is definitely going to be helpful. So, but Ren also has to basically use 2 different powers at the same time, and he's gonna burn through energy pretty fast. But Jean's like, hey, I'm gonna help you out, because that's what we do, and we're not mad at each other anymore. We bros.
Yeah, man, I'm happy that these two, like, Ren's, like, better now.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's nice. Obviously, he's still got stuff to go through, but he's making progress.
No, he
And
needs to work stuff out with a certain redhead.
Yeah, he certainly does, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Yeah. There's one last thing. You might remember ages upon ages ago, I feel like originally this was actually meant to be comedic because we hadn't seen them interact that much. But there was that one scene long ago, you know, when Ren was in a towel, and John referred to Ren as the brother that he never had.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And Ren was just kind of like, and you. And I was like, so is the joke that they're not really that close, or they shouldn't be? Anyway, the point is, it seems like they are now, and I enjoy that.
Yeah. God, I remember having fun with, like, that scene when I was doing the crack videos.
It was very versatile.
No, my favorite one just being, like, from Purist's perspective, just talking about Jean. And there's that line in the song, "You cheated on me from behind," and just Ren being in a towel lends itself so well.
It's silly. Anyway.
Oh my god. Man, I had fun making those.
Yeah, fair. And so anyways, like, John basically to the effect of, hey, don't worry about it, we're gonna be teaming up, we good. And then he does a really bad job of being smooth, and Yang is not having any of it, but it's funny and we need humor, so I'm taking it.
Yep, and now we get to something a bit more depressing, that being Oscar, and well, at least he's not hung up like a punching bag.
Nor is he currently being punched in the face.
Yeah, so that's an improvement.
I mean, when you basically just get every day, day in and day out, you get punched a bunch, you really start to enjoy the times of your life when you're not being punched. Anyway, he's having himself a good old conversation with Ozpin, as you do. Yeah. He's like, man, why has life got to be all like this, man? Basically.
Man, Oscar did not ask for any of this.
You know, not that long ago, I was just baling hay, shucking corn. Now I got a damn god in my brain.
Could you imagine if he met Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's just like, hey, relatable.
Relatable, bro. It's like, were you a completely average kid, but then due to circumstances that you had no way of understanding, inexplicably got an actual living god inside your brain and take you on incredibly harrowing adventures that should have gotten you killed 90 times over?
And then just like, hey, what is yours put you through? Well, I traveled across the world for multiple people, monsters that were trying to murder me, and I have to stop an immortal god from destroying the world, and make sure that other people are actually willing to fight. What about you? We play card games.
Bruh. Actual bruh. Like, I know that you're selling it. I know that things get perilous in Yu-Gi-Oh!
No, they do, but...
When you list it that way. Anyway, so, Ozpin's trying to offer some possible ideas, mostly involving magic. Oscar's not too down for that because he feels every time they use magic, their souls get closer and closer to fusing together, and he's really not cool with that.
Which, I share that feeling, because I don't want Oscar to go away.
Yeah, no, I've grown attached to the little dude, yeah. But he's just doing his best.
Or at the very least, make Oscar the dominant personality. Just give him the memories of Ozma, but have him still be him.
Yeah, that would be nice. Regardless, they're just kind of just doing what they can. Also, when Hazel first walks back in, I can't help but notice that for some reason Oscar's like, all right, oh, here he comes. I'm gonna get punched again. All right, let me just get out of the fetal position. I feel like that's just gonna get me kicked. That feels a little too real to me. Like, that's a very brace for impact type thing.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Yeah, but Hazel grabs them, and off they go. And we go down to the trenches, where we find a bunch of soldiers, and conveniently all of Team Funky without helmets on, so we know that it's them. I mean, admittedly, the trumpet and roller skates would have probably been enough.
Yeah.
But still, I get what they did. But, so
I will say though, I'm always glad to at least see Neon, because she's voiced by Meg Turney, and I like Meg.
I know. So it is nice to see them even in such a mild capacity. Because again, man, when we first saw Flint and Neon, they seemed exactly like the type of one-shot characters you would never hear about ever again afterwards. You know?
Yeah.
So even if it's in an incredibly mild, very tiny way, it's awesome that it is a thing. And I wonder if they mildly regret what they did, because I can't... When we see these guys and they're fighting this Grimm, and it's this extraordinarily dark and serious moment, you just got this dude playing a trumpet and freaking Nyan Cat flying around the battlefield. It's a bit of a tonal whiplash. I feel like maybe that was the point, but it's hard to deny.
Yeah. And then we got Marrow, who's just like, oh, but they're just kids.
Yeah, well, so's everybody.
And I have to remember when Ironwood says to Osborn, do you honestly think your children could win a war?
And then he
Bruh.
did it himself.
Bruh.
Yeah.
You're putting kids in the trenches. I mean, not you directly, I guess, but...
Close enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Aesops, they're doing what they can. As you do. And, man, I forgot Hazel. We cut to the next scene, and Hazel is, bringing Oscar over to the lamp. And I forget, he literally just yucks him casually, like a freaking soda bottle. Like, my God, dude. Anyway, it's now the ultimate, time. What is the term I'm looking for? The moment of truth. There it is. For Hazel, he's like, all right, so we're gonna do this thing.
I do like his logic. I like his logic, though, just like, hey, if what you told me is a lie, and I took that to Salem, well, then she'd take it out on me, and I'm not all for that.
Yeah, fair.
So, I want you to do it in front of me, and if it's a lie, I'ma kick your ass.
It's decent logic. You gotta give Hazel at least some credit. The dude thinks these things through. Like, alright, okay, you're right. If this does work, you are at least somewhat trustable. I get that. But, like, if you're lying to me, ooh boy. If you thought the punches hurt before. Yeesh. And then Emerald shows up, and he's like, she is all like, so, like, yo, what's going on over here? And Hazel's all like, some serious stuff, girl. So we're about to find out, and, well, he summons. Do you want to do it?
Oh boy. Well, Oscar calls out Jin, and here we have the return of the giant naked blue lady.
The giant naked blue lady. Good God. I am so confused by Jin in so many ways. Like, not like that. I mean in the sense that, like, the design choice, You'd think, they give her all this, like, jewelry and chains and stuff. You'd think they would have put, I don't know, something resembling some kind of clothes on her. But no, she's just straight up naked.
Well, I mean, it's also like a Barbie doll thing.
I know she's like a Barbie doll. Man, that would have been very weird if it wasn't.
Oh my God. Well,
but I digress.
Well, I would have had to censor a lot of reactions.
Indeed.
Although, I think Rooster Teeth, at least on the site, can get away with that.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially after what Funhouse do, let me tell you.
But I don't want to know.
Nah, you don't.
No, I don't. Anyway, so Jin shows up, and she's nice as she's a neutral party in all of this. And she's like, all right, hey, how's it going? You want me to answer yourself a question? And it's like, well, I ain't got no dang questions for you there, Jin, but that guy does. And then Hazel's all like, well, all right, well, I had some questions, but man, giant naked blue lady, I'ma die happy. And he was content. And he's like, no, that's not what he said. He said basically all of his questions were answered just by seeing her.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And now he's going to do what Gretchen would have done, which is to get Oscar and Emerald out of there.
Yeah. So there you go. And for all intents and purposes, this is technically, by definition, a face turn for Hazel and Emerald.
Yay!
I almost called her I almost called her Elizabeth. That's not her name.
I'm trying to think if there's any way she is similar to Elizabeth from Persona 3.
She is not.
No.
She's totally not. But so I mean, I gotta be honest. We all kind of suspected Emerald. I mean, it was always kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But did you think Hazel would ever make an about face?
I mean, I saw a lot of people theorize about that, although the main theory was Hazel, Emerald, and Mercury.
Yeah.
But I always thought Mercury seems like the least likely.
I wouldn't say it was impossible.
Yeah.
But if any of them were definitely not going to at the end of the day, then like yeah, obviously it would have been him. Hazel. The thing with Hazel, it was always sort of a is like, okay, he seems like the guy who doesn't want to be a bad guy.
Yeah, like he even like I went back through Volume 5 for reasons, and like when he meets Sienna Khan, he's just like, look, I don't want any trouble. No one has to die. I just want to talk. And even when they're fighting in that room, he's just like, look, I don't want to fight you.
Yeah.
It's only when Ozpin is there, he actively tries fighting.
Yeah. So he always came off as that kind of guy, but like he doesn't want to be a bad guy, but he truly, honestly believes that he does not have a choice in the matter. So it was always kind of a wonder, is like, I guess if he ever felt like it was possible to turn against Salem, then he might, but it depended entirely on whether or not that could be possible, and apparently it was.
Yeah. So, no, I'm happy seeing this, and hey, for all those who would want Mercury to turn good, well, I gotta say, it's not happening right now, but with Emerald turning good, there's a chance.
There is a chance. They don't have the greatest relationship ever, but the last scene they had together implied that there was at least a little bit of doubt in Mercury's mind.
Plus, he would have had to spend a plane ride with Tyrion.
That would probably make anybody become a turncoat. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Hazel and freaking Emerald, not Elizabeth. What the hell, brain? Okay. They're like, well, we're pretty much convinced on the legit, because, like, we're terrified of Salem. We don't really want to be here. And so they're like, all right, let's just get the hell out of here. We're gonna try and figure out a way to get you and the lamp and all this stuff all out of here. It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, I mentioned this before we started recording, but, like, Jin's been summoned without, like, being asked a question, like, twice now.
Yeah.
For the third time, can't she just, like, come out and just be mad? Just like, alright, what do you assholes want this time?
Yeah, I know. You'd think. A part of me was wondering, because the way that she talks is like, so you really don't have any questions? And it's like, yeah, no, we're good. I feel like when you take that, in equation with the way that it was, with the way RWBY did it, I almost feel like, all right, then you're all just out of luck now. And I feel like the next time she gets summoned, it's like, no, you summoned me too many times and didn't ask anything. I gave you enough free passes. No more.
And she's gonna get mad at them, like, at some point. And for the comedic sense, I kind of want to see that.
Okay, so, man, part of me kind of understands maybe why RWBY Chibi stopped, because, like, eventually, it's like, what do you do? Like, things have gotten so serious in the main show. Like, what do you do exactly? Do you get Chibi Hazel in here? Like, I just don't understand. I don't think that would work.
I mean...
It made Cinder work, I guess.
I mean, we had some ideas. Like, I had a good thing going for, like, if they wanted to bring Adam into it.
That's true.
That also would have brought in Ilya.
Yeah, I guess if you just go about it the right way, you can make anything work.
Like, hell, I had an entire scene planned at one point.
That's true.
It would have been funny.
It was pretty great. Look, the only thing I have anything against is just like, man, they sure did show off Chibi Coco, and that led to nothing. That was weird. Anyway, so they're all like, okay, we'll come back for the lamp in a little bit. Thank you. And they leave. and there's a spooky, spooky pair of eyes in the corner. Who could it be? Well, the only person who can, do that. It's Neo.
Yeah.
She's stealing a lamp.
Yeah. And, like, we've talked about this off camera, like, okay, so Neo's gonna want to ask a question because she knows how it works now. How is she gonna ask a question?
Yeah, that's the main thing. It's like, all right, so we know that Neo is in the room with the lamp. She can take the lamp. I don't know. Maybe she wants to she's like, oh, man, I wish I could ask you a question, but I can't, so I guess I'll just sell you. I don't know. But the fact is, she can't do that.
And there was the idea, like, what if her scroll has, like, text-to-speech or something? She could just, like, ask it a question that way. That would just bring up the question, why has she never used that?
Yeah. So, would that count? We just don't know. There are so many questions.
Or maybe she just thought, you know what, I kind of want to turn good as well, out of spite. Which...
I mean, that's not impossible. Let's be real.
If Neo is turning good, I hope that is the reason, just spite.
Like, man, I don't like you guys. I really don't. But, like, I have a limit. I'm only so evil, and I'm not about genocide. Like, that's a fair line, I feel.
Or it could just be like that dude, what was his name, Hux from Last Jedi? Where...
I never saw the movie.
Fair enough. Yeah, but he betrayed the First Order, and the reason why is because, he doesn't want the Resistance to win, he just wants Kylo Ren to lose.
Yeah, like, alright, fair enough, that works for us.
But what if Neo feels that way about Cinder?
It's not impossible. But anyway, we cut back to, the Blondies and Ren, and boy howdy, are these folks really tired. And John touches the whale wall and regrets it dearly.
Yeah. But then John
I've been talking a lot, so I was going to let you go ahead and do a little bit.
Yeah. And John's all, hey, why don't you take a break? I'm going to go ahead and see what's going on.
Hey, go scout.
Yeah. Which makes me want to see him with a baseball bat.
Yeah. Then he comes back. After finding things. It's like, oh crap.
Or yeah. Or I don't know. He's just like, hey, I saw this medic who gave me an operation to make me tougher. Just Archimedes.
That was just weird. But yeah. Yeah. John runs off to do that, and Ren and Yang have themselves a powwow.
Yeah. Well, Yang's talking about, man, Jean's come a long way, hasn't he? And Ren's all, you don't have to mask everything with a joke. I know you're scared.
Like, legitimately, I am a living human lie detector. I know what you're feeling at all times. There's no point in lying to me.
Nah, and man, it's Ren with this new power. It's weird, but at the same time, it's just like, I love it.
Yeah, it has its uses. That much is very clear. And on top of everything else, they straight up go... They actually take, like, a brief moment to be like, man, Jean's gotten kind of awesome, hasn't he? And he's like, man, yeah. Remember where he started? Like, night and day.
Yeah, now Ren's pointing out, like, there's no fear in him at all.
Oh, yeah, because they're like, no, he senses fear in himself and in Yang. With Jean, is like, nah, dude thinks we're gonna win this. Like, there's no doubt at all. That's an admirable trait. Jean's got a lot of good going for him.
Yeah. And speaking of Jean, he comes running back because he found something. And he's like, hide, hide, hide.
It's the orb.
Yeah, the orb that killed Lionheart, like a chump.
Indeed. We don't know if that means the orb is powerful or if Lionheart was really just that terrible. But I digress.
Considering what's about to happen.
Fair.
Like,
actually, yeah, no, you're right. Oh my god, Lionheart sucked.
Yeah, although, to be fair, he did say that in that volume that he's not the fighter he used to be.
Regardless.
Plus, his weapon got knocked away. I think his aura was really low because of the fight that was happening before.
Oh, fine. I guess if you really want to give him a bunch of credit. Anyway, they try to hide from the orb.
He still went out like a chump, though.
Yeah, absolutely. He, screaming and crying. That's the best way to go out.
Which, let's be totally fair, that fits his character super well, and the scene was well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they tried to hide from the orb, and it works for a while, but man, Ren is tired.
Yeah, and the second his aura breaks, the orb's like, oh, I see you now.
I see you now with the power of my all-seeing orb. And then we cut on over, and due to some clever word choice, we're none the wiser for the devious trick that is on display. Except, ignore that, because there is no trick. We see Emerald, and not Elizabeth, Hazel. They're walking down, and she's like, hey, you think he's going to be okay on his own? And Hazel's all like, yeah, probably. I mean, why not?
Yeah. But then, who's walking towards them? It's Salem.
It's Salem, as you do.
And they both look pretty spooked.
Yeah, and obviously with the whole, turning turncoat thing, they're kind of worried about the super powerful god lady, figuring that out and murdering their faces.
Yeah. And she's all, oh, Hazel, did you get the information out of him yet? And he's stumbling over his words a lot.
He is. Uncharacteristically so.
Yeah. I mean, you would think that he'd just be like, he's just not talking.
Yeah, you'd think. But, so, they kind of get away from it. But then, man, I cannot get over I'm sorry, okay, so alarms go off. It's like, oh no, the lamp! And Salem, for lack of a better term, I don't know, neumes her way across the floor.
The way that she has her arms behind her reminds me of Naruto and Sonic, because that's how they both run.
I know, but it's like a combination Naruto run, but she's also like on a freaking Segway or something. I get that it's meant to be otherworldly, but it looks goofy to me.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be terrified if that was coming at you.
Well, yeah, that's fair. Last thing you see before you die, whatever the hell that was. Anyway, so alarms go off because a lamp got taken, and we know who done took it, but nobody else knows who done took it. So that's an interesting thing. I am legitimately curious how that's going to go down.
Yeah, me too. Although we check back in with Ren and the Blondes, and they're just like, okay, what do we do now? So Yang suggests, let's do what we do best: charge blindly into danger.
And then I really, really love the way they use this. I was like, well, I would have gone with keep moving forward, but that works too.
Which, I have to admit, in my reaction, I wanted to make a joke out of Yang's line, but then when John said this, I was like, oh, my heart.
I was like, oh,
I can't do that now.
You made my heart hurt. I don't want to make a joke.
It's a good use of the line, though.
Yeah, that sentence is always going to sting ever so slightly. But yeah, straight up though, we cut back to them, and the first thing we see is, Yang very easily killed the orb. So
yeah. Well, let's be fair. It stings, but in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it was a good use for it. And then we see the we see the Aesops and the army and Cole and Neon Cat fighting all the Grimm, which is pretty cool. An interesting team attack of, all right, I'm gonna pin him down with my trumpet, and you go over there and slap him with your nunchucks.
And speaking of team attacks, sorry,
it seems so goofy. It's okay. It seems so goofy.
And talking about team attacks, we got Marrow pointing at a Grimm in the sky as he tells it to stay, and then Harriet just jumps up and kills it in one go.
Yeah,
like that was a cool team attack.
That is like stay, kick. All right, fair enough. Because when you think about it, I mean, I know that Harriet's ability, because I actually know her name now. I know her ability isn't time related, but the fact that she's super fast and he slows down time for things, like that's a really cool combo thing.
Yeah, it makes them a super deadly combo to go up against.
Yeah, because all right, he can slow you down, and she's already faster than you, so big problems. Anyway, so the bomb is approacheth, and they're going to continue to try and run away, but oh no, they found the two groups converge, and they're like, oh no, villains, and Hazel...
Let's get ready to kick their ass.
Yeah, and Hazel uncharacteristically freaks out. Like, no!
Like,
Because
no,
it's Oscar.
stop!
It's Oscar.
Yeah, which, man, like, first time I saw that scene, just, that actually blew my mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna be entirely honest. I feel like after you know that it was Oscar, you can look back on the scene prior and go, oh yeah, obviously. But at the time, completely didn't see it.
Yeah.
I legitimately thought Hazel was just rattled because, like, oh damn, does she already know I'm a turncoat? You know, that sort of thing. Like, I know he's stoic, but still.
Well, that and Salem can tell when people are lying.
Exactly. So there was enough reason to think that was the case. And also, you noticed something that I didn't about Emerald and the eye contact.
Yeah, it looks like she actually tries to, like, look down at where Oscar would be, but then, like, corrects herself to, like, look up.
Yeah. So, and I briefly brought it up, before we started recording, is that basically, I don't really care for Emerald because she's done a lot of bad stuff, but I gotta give her kudos because training her ability has got to be difficult because it literally requires other intelligent people around, and if you can't see your own illusions, how do you know they're working?
I imagine practice on Mercury.
That would have been pretty great.
I want to see that now. Where's the fan comic on that?
Yeah, there's a lot of funny stuff there. It's like, I mean, and then I was curious because the last a few episodes ago when Emerald like goes with Cinder off to beat up Penny and what have you, she's like, I've been working on my power, and I was like, what do you mean working on your power? And it's like, oh wait, yeah, no, actually, fair enough. That would be really hard to train. Anyway, so shout out to Jean for tossing his shield and sword to the ground, or to the whale, as it were, to just straight up lift bear hug Oscar.
And got a great detail, just like him being in a little bit of pain because of how tight the hug is. Well,
to be fair, he has got to be incredibly bruised.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of like the first episode when Yang bear hugs RWBY.
Yeah.
And she's just like, please stop.
The pain. But yeah, anyway.
Oh, hey, that's another thing they have in common. They got hugged by a porn person that, it hurt.
Yeah, but no, shout out though. They've developed a really seriously awesome friendship at this point.
Yeah.
And then just, I really love it, especially after that brief moment where Jean, like, lost his temper with Ozpin, really. And I was like, that was a serious moment and everything, but no, like, Jean...
Man, I had to rewatch that scene recently, and it was rough.
Yeah, I imagine. I was like, oh, damn. It helps knowing that later they become, like, the bestest of friends, and John's like, he becomes a guy who's like, no, I'll run into that giant whale to save him, and on the off chance that maybe I'll fail and get blown up.
This just got me thinking, like, with Oscar being, like, the next Ozpin, would that make Jean, like, the next Crow? Like, I mean... the right-hand man, like, best bud sort of deal?
That would be kind of dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, but then what animal would Jean get the power to turn into if he keeps doing that?
Turtle.
I mean, wouldn't get far anywhere, but...
No, he wouldn't, but I mean, it makes sense. John is the tank. He's the shield. Kind of what a turtle does. I don't know, maybe a rhino? Like, I don't know. Regardless. So, but that's a neat thought. Anyway, next thing's next.
Well, how about a wolf?
Oh, that'd be pretty nice. Because he'd be a blonde wolf.
Ooh.
That'd be cool. But everyone's like, well, not everyone, but, Ren, John, and Nora are like, yo.
Wait, Nora?
Yo, hey, what, did I say Nora?
Yeah.
John, Yang, and Ren are like...
Okay, it's weird, like, saying this, let's be real.
Yeah, it is.
Because we're so used to just, like, Team Juniper and Team RWBY being together.
Yeah, it's hard to get these... There's a lot of names, people. I'm doing my best. Point is, they see Emerald, and they're like, okay... But why though? And then and they're like, it's okay. She's on our side. And it's like, okay, and we're supposed to just trust that noise, which is a fair point. She is kind of known for lying constantly.
Yeah.
And Ren is all like, "No, it's okay. We can trust her. She's terrified."
Just like we are.
And then, and so are we. So you know what? I think we can trust her. And Emerald, to her credit, says, "Also, I know how to get out of here."
Which is a good point.
It's like, counterpoint made. Either way, it seems legit. Later scenes make it even seem even more legit that this is basically for realsies.
Yeah.
I imagine she's going to have a hell of a difficult adjusting period, but like...
Yeah, although I brought this up like before because like, you know, going back through older RWBY episodes for reasons. I went back to that scene with Mercury and she was like, "Man, Cinder was like the only family I've ever really known." I'm just like, man, with like her turning good now, it's like she might actually have another chance at like an actual family and friendship.
I feel like that's the angle we're going to go for here. Basically, she's probably eventually things are going to settle down a bit and she'll be able to quasically sort of maybe bond-ish with some of the other good guy characters. And if she does make that connection and does feel like she actually has friends and a family,
that'd be nice.
That is when Cinder comes back and her loyalties are conflicted. And she's all like, "Oh no, new family or the abusive relationship?" And I'm not trying to make a joke about that because that's a very serious problem that people who are in abusive relationships, that's a real thing. I'm not making a joke about that.
Oh!
That's hard to break away from.
Oh! Sorry.
Go ahead.
Have a bone with Blake. And then Blake helps her out with that like Yang helped her with Adam.
Dude.
Oh,
That's a good idea.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, straight up. That's a good call. I hope they do that. Because they'd have a lot of ways of being able... a lot of things to relate about, really.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how you look at it, you know, former criminals in a very bad spot, breaking free from bad relationships, it would work. So, Emerald leads the way.
And I'm excited about that idea now.
Yeah, I hope that is where they're going with that. Like, I know maybe some people would be like, isn't it kind of cliche to have Emerald do all this stuff? Why doesn't she just, I don't know, maybe still stay evil? You know, sometimes cliches aren't a bad thing.
Yeah. Like, what's that cliche called? Like the one-stroke duel?
Yeah, that.
Well, like, two characters slash, and then it's just like, oh, who won? Who won? Like, yeah, that's a cliche. But it's freaking cool!
It's so cool. So it's like some tropes and some cliches are good and can be used to good effect. And you know what? I'm okay with that being one of the ones that's used here if they go through with it. I'm completely on board. And now we cut back to Winter, who's like, "All right, men, we're all screwed. I'ma drop the bomb."
Here's an actual bomb.
It is straight up a legitimate bomb. And Marrow's like, "Hey, so, you know, they didn't get out." And he's like, she's like, "Yeah, well, you know, I told them that if they didn't get out, I was going to blow up the whale." And I was like, okay, so what if your sister was in there?
I do appreciate the animation on Winter's face when that's brought up.
Absolutely. No, you can tell. It's like, she's like, "Oh, God, no. Why are you making me think these thoughts? Why?" And she grits her teeth, furrows her brow. It's like, you can tell, man, Winter is going through a lot.
Yeah. Well, this conversation did get me thinking, like, because she says, yeah, she would still do it, but the conversation that she would have to have for Weiss if she blew up the whale with her friends inside it and they died.
Oh, dear God.
Honestly, I think that would destroy her and Weiss's relationship.
Oh no, without question. Like, it was already a little bit rocky, but like, if Winter was in fact the direct cause of, honestly, I'd say even just one of the three of them dying, I feel like that would almost completely irreversibly destroy it. But if it was all three, like, I love Weiss, but girls got limits.
Yeah, and considering that she even said to Yang specifically that she considers RWBY, her, and Blake more family to her than even her own father and brother, at least at the time.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh.
Things between her and Whitley are improving, yes.
They are. I mean, I'm just saying, let's hope that she doesn't switch the brother out for the sister. That's all I'm hoping for. Because their relationship has always been like the one concrete thing Weiss had, and I don't want her to lose that. But man, that intro, the intro to this volume does not bode well.
It does not, and we talked about this off camera as well, but just like, oh, go, what if like Ruby and Blake were there too? And Winter's just saying, yeah, that friend of yours, Yang, she's dead. I blew her up inside the giant Grim whale.
Yeah, I exploded her good. Sorry.
And Ruby's just like, Weiss, I know this is your sister and you love her. Pulls out Crescent Rose, but I'm gonna murder her. And then Blake just pulls out Gamble's Shroud, and I'll help.
And Weiss is like, man, on one hand, oof. On the other hand, yeah, no, go ahead. I'm just not gonna look. It's like, ugh. It's obviously not going to happen, but Jesus.
Yeah. Like, oh god.
Anyway, so luckily, the odds of Rooster Teeth killing off, all those characters is very, very slim. So we don't have to worry about this moment. But it is interesting to see Winter and her, thought process and everything.
Yeah.
And just how far she's willing to go. Man, I just don't know. Anyway,
I mean, everybody's... So on one hand, like, yeah, it's her job and that's what she signed up for. And also, what if she puts it off and, like, things just escalate even worse?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of variables. It's easy to look at. It's easy to look at someone and go, no, that's stupid. The obvious choice is right there. Do it. Come on now, stupid. Come on. But, like, seriously, I don't know. If you were in her shoes and you had lived the life she lived and experienced all the things she experienced, things would be harder for you. You can't say you know how you would react in any given situation when you actually haven't been in a situation like it.
I mean, there's one situation I know how I would react in.
What's that?
Grim comes running at me, I'd piss myself.
Not where I thought you were going with that. But fair. Fair.
Oh, and probably try and run like hell.
Yeah, assuming your legs didn't give way. You don't know. Have you ever had to run for your life, like legitimate life or death moment? You don't know how your body would react. You've never been there.
Yeah, good point.
You like to think, like everyone likes to think, oh, I would fight to defend myself. Others would like to say, no, I'd run for hell. Like, run like hell to save my life. And you'd be like, would you even do that? Or would your body lock up? You don't know. Regardless. Team good guys and bad guys who want to be good guys are on the run, and they're about to leave the whale. Except they can't, because,
it starts shaking, and Emerald's like, oh no, it's her.
And, she straight up Kool-Aid Mans through this whale's, like, coronary. Like, she just booms right through it, and like, my god, respect your whale. They are being hunted to extinction. Stop blowing up their parts.
That just made me think of like just the idea of an edit of Emerald going, it's her, and then just cut to like all four of them just going, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, just busting. Oh yeah.
How do you even know that reference?
Is it sad that I know it because of Family Guy?
Dude, it's okay. In fact, do they even sell Kool-Aid in your country?
I don't think they do. I've never seen it on the shelf.
Okay, so, like, if that's true, then I'm not going to give you the slightest bit of guff about that, because, as far as I know, it could be a purely American product that you could only see commercials for here, in which case it would make sense that you would see it in a TV show. So, don't worry about that. Anyway, so Salem is here, and she's a bit cranky.
Understandably so.
Yeah, so Emerald tries to run away, but, like, so Salem's got these stretchy-ass arms.
Apparently.
God, that's... Like, I've seen a fair share of, stretchy characters in my day, but for some reason, when she does it, it's significantly more unsettling.
Yeah, and then she, Sorry, I paused at the perfect moment.
Okay, because, you know, it's not exactly a humorous situation that Emerald is currently in, so I'm curious as to what exactly you saw that was so funny.
Okay, so I was about to say, everyone tries to, you know, shoot at Salem and, you know, try and save Emerald. So she blasts them with magic, which knocks Jean and Ren away. Yang just charges in and punches her, and I paused at, like, the perfect moment when Yang punches her.
Did you pause at the perfect moment where she got punched into boob?
Yep.
Yeah, so with hindsight and looking back at, you know, scenes, I mean, at the time it's tense and serious and you don't think about it much. But when you rewatch it and you're pausing a bunch, yeah, no, Yang straight up punched Salem in the boob.
And now I'm just picturing, like, can Yang brag about this at some point?
She really, really needs to. But aside from that, Yang is go ahead.
I'm sorry, but next time they speak to Raven, just like, hey, so remember how scared of Salem you were? Yeah, I punched her in the boob.
That's so funny.
Like, what would Raven even say to that?
It's like it's like she said that to Raven, and Raven is just like. And she's just like that's the ultimate weird flex, but okay. Like, you sure did, I guess.
That's absolutely the image, but we're going with this, by the way.
Oh, the hell. Yeah, go for it, because it's funny. And we all need to laugh. Anyway, Yang is super pissed, and, you know, she's doing her best, and she planted a whole big old pile of explosives on Salem. And credit where credit is due. When they go off...
She blows her open.
When they go off... By all intents and purposes, Yang killed Salem. The only reason she isn't totally dead is because she's immortal. But if she wasn't, that would have been death.
Yeah. So, hey, there's another flex for Yang.
Yeah, no, she's got that going for her. But then, you know, Salem's fine, and she uses her creepy, gross, gooey arm tendril thingamabobbo to grab hold of Yang, pull her close. It ain't good. But then Oscar, with the power of magic,
is all Kamehameha.
But then Salem, with the power of yeet.
I kind of laughed at this in my reaction, because I was just thinking, I'm gonna yeet a Yang at you.
Yeah, basically. But, you never underestimate the power behind just chucking somebody at somebody else. It works. It works. Anyway, so she eats Yang, and they get knocked down, and everybody gets pulled down by the super gross arms of death. And Emerald gets pinned to the wall, and she is about to do some hardcore interrogations.
Yeah,
probably of the flesh rent.
Where the lamp is, but as we said before, Emerald don't know. Like, she never touched it.
Yeah, no, she legitimately doesn't know. I mean, she has a vague idea. It's like, well, I mean, as far as she knows, like, maybe Hazel is the one that took it, you know? Like, but, like, credit where it's due, she doesn't think to rat him out. So, that's something at the very least. Okay, you know what? You can say a lot about Emerald, but you know what you can't say? You can't say that girl is disloyal to the people that she's actually with.
Yeah.
She, as ill-advised as it is, she is loyal absurdly to Cinder and to even Mercury and Hazel.
Even when staring Salem in the face, when she has, like, a orb of death, like, up against her cheek.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, nope, not telling. And, like, straight up, like, she starts tearing up at this. Fair. More than fair.
Yeah. Jesus.
But, but eventually Oscar and, you know, Osmond, they're able to distract Salem, at least for a while, get her into a good old-fashioned monologue and stuff.
And she just grabs him in the face and gives him a death stare.
Yeah, it's pretty spooky. But then Yang is like, aw, dang, she might do something to him. Now it's my turn to do the distraction thing. And it was like, and then Sam was like, girl, who the heck even is you? Why are you so cranky at me? And you know, obviously, yeah, go ahead.
And Yang's just listening off, like, all this death, what, just because something bad happened to you once?
I know.
Like-
God, that is therapeutic. It's like, man. God, get over it, lady.
Yeah. It's like, wow.
You're like, you think just because you're an all-powerful god that gives you license to have a never-ending pity party? God, no.
And Yang's even bring up, like, yeah, everything I've lost, every person I've lost, it's because of you.
That's true. Everybody who has died as a result of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's messed up.
And Salem's so, oh, and who is it I've taken from you specifically? And remember how we brought up Raven before?
Yeah.
Well, Yang replies to that with Summer Rose, my mom.
And Raven don't know it, but she just had this massive twang of pain in the back of her head. She doesn't know why, but she felt it. And Salem has an interesting response of, oh, like that name again or her again.
Yeah, and
So that bodes horribly poorly.
man, they're setting something up, and I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we're gonna get hit hard later.
Okay, when I say that, I mean in terms of, oof, that's dark and messed up. But
Oh, absolutely.
no, story-wise, I'm intrigued and looking forward to it. I just want to make that perfectly clear when we say, like, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Luckily, once again, everyone is saved by another interrupting person. This time it's Hazel, and Hazel has the super highland advantage of not being considered a threat to Salem, or at least, you know, like, oh no, she works. He works for me. It's all good.
Yeah. And yeah, he keeps this up for a while as Salem's getting ready to do stuff to Emerald, which man,
Was that the only one who found that like absurdly, ungodly unsettling?
Yeah, I did too.
And like she's crying. I don't like it. I don't like it.
But
And
then we get
but then
something
Sagan-
we do like.
Yeah, we do. And I keep talking. Come on, give yourself a good moment here.
Right. So Hazel picks up Oscar and he's looking all intense, but pulls him in, just saying, "No more Gretchens, boy." Gives him the cane back, and then we get one of the best moments this episode. Just Salem's about to do stuff, and then BAM! In the face!
In the face. Hazel has fully cemented, like, nope, I guess I'm a good guy now. And for all intents and purposes, he's getting into a fight with Salem. He knows that. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, considering the amount of times he has fought Salem, he's aware of the fact that he can't win, and she's probably not going to let him live.
I'm far ahead in the... I'm a little further, and it's just like, man, all the dust he's shoving into his shoulders.
Yeah, no, that is
Like, he's got
messed
ice,
up.
electric, fire. I'm not sure what the white one is. Earth.
Yeah, Earth. I think the white one might be... Crap, I'm not sure. I feel like we've seen it once before. Maybe gravity or something.
No, gravity's purple.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. That is the purple one. Then I don't know what he just stabbed into his body, but I'm sure it helped.
Oh, and I'm gonna point this out, because I saw someone bring it up. There's a scar, like, on his stomach. Like, just a little bit to the side.
No. Hang on. No, I got to see that. I did not see that, and I got to see that. This is important for so many reasons. Show me that belly, you weirdo. Okay, he's stabbing some more. He do! All right.
There you go.
It's something. That actually makes me unreasonably happy. It's barely anything, but it just shows like, nah, Weiss did that. That's pretty great. Anyway, let's not take away from Hazel's extraordinarily badass moment, because by all accounts, like he looks over to Emerald and is like, all right, get out of here. And she's like, but what? It's like, just shut up and get out of here. This is, by very definition, a heroic sacrifice. He is going into this knowing he is going to die in the hopes of getting them out of there.
Yeah. And I like how he even says, like, he's doing what Gretchen would have done. That's just like, damn, dude.
Yeah, no,
like,
absolutely.
Honoring your sister by doing like going like this against the ultimate like big bad of your world. Like, dude,
Yeah.
mad respect.
Yeah, no, I mean, even with the crap that he's done that I'm not a fan of in any regard, it's hard to not consider that incredibly badass.
I mean, to be fair, we haven't seen him kill anyone on screen, have we?
No, but he has hurt characters that I care about. And...
Well, true. Although, to be fair, with Ren and Nora, he didn't want to. He only fought as like a response to them fighting him.
That's true. That's true.
And the only reason he fought anyone was because, well, Osmond's there, and he hates the guy.
Basically, and he turns old school Broly at the thought of him.
Well, Broly / Bane.
I know, but Ozpa not. Anyway, the point is, dude slaps his hands together in midair and creates a gigantic, spiky earth ball full of lightning and lava.
Which is all kinds of awesome.
Okay, so here's the thing. Arc Systems, make a RWBY fighting game, have Hazel be playable in it, and if that ain't a super move, I'm gonna be mad.
Oh, same, actually. Like, oh, that'd be so freaking cool.
God, that would be... I have spent a lot of time thinking about how cool that would be, but not what we're here to talk about, because he goes absolutely bananas on him, and straight up, I gotta say, and this is like 16, 13. So Hazel, he slams Salem in the chest, and then he starts punching at her head, and it's not blood, but oh my god, it sure feels like it is.
Yeah.
Like these freaking of grim goo shoot out of her head, and he just wails on her like a bunch. And eventually she's able to use her grim arms to like prop him up and peel him up. And then she gets back up, and her face is gone.
Yeah. And I will give credit to Hazel here. Like, you know, good plan. Just go for the head, and if you can mess up her brain enough, then you're buying yourself like as much time as possible.
Credit where credit is due. When Hazel said that he killed Salem again and again and again, and the best he could do was make her go away for a couple hours, well, after that, I believe it.
Yeah.
Like, okay. At first, I was a bit skeptical. Not anymore. No, that works. But yeah, she just props herself back up with a giant-ass hole in her head, and it reforms. Good God.
Oh, you know what? Maybe that, like, white glowing dust was hard light.
Hard light!
Because he puts up a shield.
Sense. You're right, he was holding it in his hand. I was wondering what that was, actually. I hadn't noticed that he was holding a thing in his hand before, and it was just like, since when could he make barriers? What? That makes way more sense.
Yeah, I also mentioned this, but, like, there's a friend of mine who, like, upon seeing Hazel and what he does in RWBY, because I showed him a clip.
Yeah, of the stabbing and the powering up.
Yeah. He wanted to see Hazel fight Bane in a death battle.
Oof.
And he freaking loves Bane.
Oof.
Oh boy, that's not gonna work out the way you wanted to after this.
Yeah, indeed. Alright, so, Hazel's able to prove a good distraction, and everybody starts a-running. And John is like, yo, Oscar, we gotta get out of here. And Oscar makes a good point. She'd just come after us.
By the way, I'm just going to throw this out there for anyone watching the video. If you heard a ding, it's because my computer and my phone are linked and I just got a text message.
Dear God, how will we ever be able to move past this? I don't know if I could ever forgive you. Our friendship might have been rocked by this. Anyway, so Oscar says she's just going to come after us if we go, and that's a very good point. So he decides it's time to use the magics. Although, admittedly first, Salem is, in fact, just straight up pulling off a freaking professional wrestling move with the slammed head to the ground thing. It's brutal, but, like... Now I'm picturing Salem as a freaking wrestler, and it's weird. Anyway.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so Salem has to, like, pick and choose her target. She goes after Oscar. Hazel jumps up, grabs her, freaking bites down on a fire dust crystal.
Yeah, just to set
himself and her on fire. Yeah, and for the record, this
While
episode
he's
is
getting
named
choked.
Yeah, but this episode is named Witch.
Burn the witch!
Burn the witch. Burn the witch. Also, okay, you've seen a lot of fan material. I remember it was like one of those Tumblr block things that has like, characters in hypothetical conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Nora, or it was either Nora or Yang. I'm not sure. Could have been either. But they were like talking to Weiss about dust. And it's like, oh, so that one's like the fire one. It's like, if I eat this, can I breathe fire? And everyone's like, I don't know. It's like Yang, no, Yang, yes, that sort of thing.
Oh God.
And it was like, man, and then after that, I was wondered, I wonder if that would work. It'd probably be bad because you'd set yourself on fire.
Well.
And here we are. So,
that being said,
great.
I still want to see Nora bite down on some lightning dust.
Oh, at some point, at this point, she has to.
That looks so cool.
Plus, I mean, look, I know the scars aren't great and everything, but man, those things are going to glow up something fierce whenever she uses her powers
that'd
now.
be
It's going to be
badass.
awesome. It so would. It's like a super mode.
Which, I've said this before and I'll say it again, that idea, along with Ren, his semblance evolving and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they do what a lot of people are talking about with them, I'm going to be pissed.
They're not. They're not.
Yeah.
Anyway, Oscar Ozpin unleashes some kind of super ultra mega hyper forced god blast.
Which
the whole screen goes to white.
Which
and
technically
credits.
We have seen that before in Volume 3 when he fought Cinder.
This is true. We did see that. Let's hope it works slightly better this time.
Yeah, and we can actually see what that was.
Yeah, because I gotta be honest, man. So Ozpin did that to Cinder. It clearly didn't work, and he died. We didn't see the fight, but obviously he lost.
Yeah.
Whereas, not that long after, RWBY is able to permanently disfigure Cinder. Not a great showing there, Oz.
You know what? Now you say it. Although
I'm just saying.
Although, given what we learn about Ozpin later, that's a fantastic showing for what Cinder is capable of.
Also true. That's true. But that's the episode, and boy howdy, would I sure as all heck like to see the next one.
Here's the thing though.
Yes?
Stuff in Texas ain't so great right now.
Yeah, to put it mildly. So, there's a bit of a hiatus going on, and you know what? 120% okay with that.
Yeah, because, see, well, we're fanboys of RWBY. We also care about the company and the people that work in it.
Yeah, basically,
so we'd much rather, the staff and crew, be okay.
Here's the thing. If I had to choose between the show being delayed a month, 2, or even 3, and the exchange, or otherwise is okay, never mind, we get it on time, but a single person who works in the background that we don't even know the name of breaks their leg in the process, I consider that to not be a worthwhile trade.
Yeah, same.
I'll wait. It's okay. So, as much as it's a bummer, we'll get to it when we get to it, and it will be amazing. I have no doubt of that.
Yeah.
That all being said, dang, man.
Man, this episode.
That was a good-ass episode.
Yeah, it was.
That's coming from us, and, there was no Weiss or Blake in it at all.
Yeah. Hell, I mean, Weiss got mentioned.
Briefly.
But nothing on Blake.
Yeah, and, we always put episodes with them in it above all others, but, no, straight up, this is a good-ass episode.
Yeah. And man, just, the implication of just what Salem said to Yang about Summer, just...
Oof.
That has a lot of thoughts going around in my head, and I'm not sure how to feel.
Yeah. It's gonna destroy us when it happens. I already know.
Oh, probably. No, we think it's gonna destroy us. What's it gonna do to RWBY?
More.
Yeah.
Man, oh god. You remember how when Salem briefly brought up Summer before, and it like caused such a weird, crazy emotional reaction in RWBY. It's like her head short-circuited.
Yeah, and also, if you go back to that scene and look at Yang, it looks like, yeah, she's been there for RWBY, but she's trying desperately to hold it together herself.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. There's only so much any given person can ever take in any situation, like...
And people try and call Yang a bad sister.
Yeah, well, we're not here to talk about how insanely stupid the majority of people in the comment section are. I mean, sometimes we are, but not this time.
Nah.
I didn't even... Honestly, even when I looked down to see if there were any incredibly stupid things, it's mostly just people going, like... It's actually mostly people going, oh, wow, that was kind of freaking awesome, actually. Like, the worst thing I could see was, could you stop with the cliffhangers? It's getting old. Like...
Have you watched the show before?
Like, I know, so that's just stupid. But like, that's your general garden variety stupid. Nothing special.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When I first watched this episode and it ended like that, I was a little annoyed. But annoyed in a good way, because that is a good cliffhanger. Exactly.
That's the thing. Like, I'm sorry, but you realize that almost every episode of RWBY has ended on a cliffhanger. Almost.
Hell, a lot of episodes of Red vs. Blue end on those.
Exactly. It's just kind of a thing. When you have a show like this is the way that it is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just man. Straight up, good episode, man.
Oh, so good.
I hope Emerald legitimately is a straight up good guy now. I know she'll have issues, and there's definitely going to be a reuniting scene with Cinder, and it's going to be rough. But I want to see that turnaround. If she can make up for the things she did, then okay. I mean, she's going to have to work her ass off because she's responsible for a lot. And while she didn't directly murder anybody at the fall of Beacon, she helped.
Yeah, but you know,
so
what?
I mean,
we talked about this.
To work real hard.
We mentioned this before we started recording, but you know what scene I really want? Like,
what's that?
We talked about it last time, just like the reuniting, like whatever they do with that, and RWBY, Weiss, and Blake see that Emerald's just there with them. What's their reaction going to be?
I want to know.
And then they'd have to explain, oh, don't worry, Ren's using his lie detector powers, like, she's good. Oh, by the way, Ren's a human lie detector now. Well, lots happened.
Like, so much crap has gone down. How have you guys been? You know, that sort of thing.
We fought a dog Grem that could talk. It's like, oh, you fought that thing too? How'd you fare against it?
Oh, we killed that thing dead. Nice.
Turns out it was a person, though. Oh.
What?
That's dark. Well, just out of curiosity, who fared best in a fight against it? Oh, Blake.
Oh my god, damn, like, Blake kept that thing from flying away using just her arm muscles. Ren sadly looks at his feet and just kind of leaves.
Or he does that thing where, like, you know, you flex your arm up, but it just, like...
It droops down. Now that's prime blooper territory. We're giving Ren crap, but you know we both we freaking love the guy. He's great.
Yeah, like we're just doing the snark thing because of, you know, just funny.
We snark because we care.
Yeah.
And also because we're both continuously flummoxed by how absurdly strong and durable Blake is for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the writers actually intended for any of this, but the things she's done don't add up. I mean, they're consistent, so it works. I'm not saying that she isn't as strong as it seems. It's just, I don't think they ever wrote down, like, all right, make sure that Blake is always this strong, you know?
I actually wonder, like, with how like she fed against the Hound, does this make her stronger than Yang?
At this point, kind of.
Huh.
But that's why I say it can't be on purpose, because that's sort of been the thing, right? You know, like, Yang is the strong one. That's her thing. When you look at the team dynamic, Yang is strong. Blake is, Blake is basically like, fast and sneaky. Weiss is, she's got, she's basically the mage. It's sort of a mage thief fighter sort of thing,
Yeah.
And, RWBY is just kind of the leader. She has a little bit of everything going on for her in a way. So that's the sort of thing. But we keep seeing things that don't add up. Like, that's not... I'm not saying they have to adhere to a very strict character archetype. It just seemed like that's what they were doing. And they were doing it for a really long time. But in later volumes, suddenly Blake is doing things that require an absurd amount of durability and strength to accomplish that we don't see other characters who we thought were stronger should be able to do. It's weird.
A little bit, yeah.
I'm okay with it. It's fine.
Oh,
I know you're fine. I know
I'm
you're
absolutely
perfectly
okay with it.
Yeah, of course you are. Because you hit the freaking waifu lottery package, apparently. I digress. Blake is great. I just think it's strange.
And hey, I think Weiss is great. I hope we get to see her do more stuff. And, Rooster Teeth will have her use other abilities again. Because...
I said it before. I said it before off screen. I'll say it again. The problem with Weiss, I think the one of the bigger problems is like, yeah, they don't show her being as strong or as capable as her teammates. That's an issue, and I want them to work on that. Again, I need to point this out. I'm not asking for her to be the strongest, most amazing, most perfect, wonderful character on the show. I'm not asking for her to be a Mary Sue. That's not what I want. I just want her to be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with her friends, and that sometimes doesn't look that way. That's part one of the problem. Part two of the problem is Weiss should be capable of more than they let her do.
Yeah, and it's just like, when I was going back for Volume 5 and I was watching Weiss fight, and I'm just like, why is she only summoning?
That is a criticism that I have to agree with. Weiss's fight with Vernal is painful.
Yeah, especially considering she stumbles at points while fighting and even just jumps into a pillar for no reason.
Yeah.
I'm just like, did they just make her fight bad intentionally?
And every time she could have done, I don't know, use dust to create an opening or something. Instead, she stands out in the open and tries to summon, gets hit, doesn't work. And she does that multiple times. We know she's smarter than that.
Yeah.
We should know. It's like, okay, that's not going to work. I don't know, throw a fire wave at her, have her have to backflip over it. That should give you at least a little time to do something.
We'll cause time dilation and just go zoom, 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 zoom.
Yeah, no, that is also definitely a thing that we know she can do and did twice in the show, and even calls it out by name as to what it was, and she hasn't used it before, despite the fact that massively spinning herself and her teammates up would be incredibly useful, on top of the fact that time dilation would also imply she'd be able to cast slow on their opponents and everything. I am opinionated, and I'm sorry if people are tired of hearing about it. I'm trying to stop, but it's hard.
Hey, I actually agree.
I know, but I shouldn't be bringing it up on an episode that had nothing to do with her, and I'm sorry.
Although, you know what we could talk about that I'm surprised we haven't yet?
What's up?
The DC Comics. What's
that
happening with them?
Oh, yeah, so apparently there's a remnant version of the Justice League, and
which is freaking
they're gonna
nuts.
they're gonna team up with RWBY, and that's pretty crazy. In the timeline, it's before they get to Atlas, because they're wearing their mid-series outfits, as I guess they're called now. And they're not as powerful as the, DC Justice League, because obviously not. But,
I mean...
they're at least... I imagine, because, if Superman were in the world of Remnant, there wouldn't be any problems on Remnant.
Honestly, most of them were, then...
Hell, even just a straight-up actual, as strong as he is in the comics, Batman would make a big-ass difference. The point is, it's sort of comparable. I assume, the Superman version is probably going to have, a semblance that, involves taking in solar energy and shooting it out or something to that effect.
I could
maybe just
you say that, that'd be cool.
Yeah, or even just he soaks it in, gets stronger the more sunlight he takes in, or something to that effect, like that. And I think we know of the fact that there's going to be a Superman, a Wonder Woman, and a Batman, basically, at least.
They've also released designs for Cyborg, the Flash, Aquaman, and Green Lantern.
Right, but isn't it like that one Green Lantern who has like the mark on their face?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. They're really pushing for her. Good on them. But we don't know how they're going to be involved, or if they're just cameos or something to that effect.
I mean, we know from like the descriptions and artwork, like who's going to be teaming up with who specifically.
Yeah.
Like, because they mentioned Ruby and Yang teaming up with some farm boy to take on a new Grimm, so you know that's Superman. Duh.
That is Superman. Yeah, obviously.
Like, we see Weiss back to back with Bruce, who is a bat faunus.
He is a bat faunus, and he has an axe that is double-bladed with the Batman symbol.
I freaking love that.
It is the perfect amount of stupid and great. It's just enough for it to work.
And it says Blake meets a woman in Menagerie who doesn't seem to know much about modern stuff.
So, I mean, like, not really many other characters it could be.
I want to assume that's Wonder Woman, which kind of makes me feel bad for Barbara.
I know, right?
Because she's, like, constantly said that she'd love to see, like, Yang and Wonder Woman in a thing together.
I'm sure that at some point the groups are going to come together and they'll talk.
Oh, yeah, at some point, but it's just, like, the one that's promoted for it is Blake.
That is very bizarre. But the synopsis doesn't actually say anything about Weiss and Batman, but there's a promotional image that came out showing them. So
yeah, plus
they're the
rich
ones left. They're the rich ones with family-related things. Let's call it that. So I mean, on one hand, I made a very silly joke because I know they're not going to do this, or at the very least, they sure as all freaking hell better not. But I made a joke about this on Twitter, in the DMs with you.
I know you showed me it. This.
Yeah, you showed me it, and I was like, wow, that's actually really cool, and all that good stuff. Then I post a picture of a gun being loaded. It was like, that being said, keep your hands to yourself, Bruce. You're on thin ice.
I don't think I see them doing that.
I know. But it was a funny joke. And you were able to retort it pretty fantastically with how it should have ended Batman. It's like,
oh yeah.
You want to know my secret identity?
Hold on, I gotta do the voice.
Please do.
Hey, I'm Batman. You wanna know my secret identity?
And then he shares a picture of Blake. It's like, I'm gonna ask you to not.
No, I'm stopping you right there.
I'm stopping you right there. That ain't gonna be a thing.
There's something I plan on doing at some point. And when I get to that clip, I'm just gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna get some mileage out of that clip, baby.
Hell yeah. Anyway, the point is, they're basically teaming up with a remnant version of the Justice League who are probably gonna be more on the same power level. So this isn't gonna be because this is actually something people were quasi at least mildly worried about, and fair enough, because if they teamed up with the straight up legitimate actual Superman and Wonder Woman, I love all the RWBY characters, but they do not compete at all.
No, but God, could you imagine if that did happen though? Let's say you have RWBY outrace the Flash.
That would destroy. I feel like it would be considered so outlandishly bizarre that it would just be disregarded outright. But I feel as if anything that happens in these comics, assuming it's not super duper crazy, could conceivably be considered something related to canon.
I have to admit, because a lot of stuff that we're talking about is to do with, how Death Battle would interpret it if, Blake or RWBY were put in Death Battle.
Which they both are at some point. Yeah. We're just trying to give them the best chances they have.
I think the best way to approach that would be how they did the Mask with the Lobo fight.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because with the Mask, they didn't scale him to Lobo. They just gave him the feats that were in that comic.
Right. It's not like, okay, so he's at least as strong and fast and whatever and durable as Lobo. It was more so these are the abilities and feats he performed while fighting Lobo.
Yeah, and I think, giving the RWBY girls that in this, that's perfectly fine.
Exactly.
Like, look, if, fights Wonder Woman based on the synopsis, I love her, but I'm gonna have to say, no, she does not get the Shattered God scaling.
I'm sorry, but after what we saw, after what happened to Thor and She-Ra, nah.
No.
No. Look, all the bias in the world ain't gonna make me think that ain't gonna happen. But, a remnant version of Wonder Woman who's more on the same level to begin with, sure.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they'll be powerful and stuff. Maybe even slightly more powerful than the girls are. Maybe we'll see.
Although I joked about this once. If Yang gets in a fight with this version of Superman and wins,
technically, you could.
God.
You could technically make that a feat. It's like technically defeated Superman. Technically.
Oh no! Imagine if Yang was put in another fight. Please no. And they just have it listed in the sidebar. Technically beat Superman. ... Suck it, Goku. Oh, that won't happen. But my God, if it did.
Oh, that'd be delightful. I freaking love RWBY, dude. It's a great show.
Yeah. I think I even joked about the idea of Weiss getting a Green Lantern ring.
Nice.
And then she could put it on and have a magical girl transformation.
I didn't even consider that. That would be amazing. Although, man, green really isn't her color, though.
Yeah, she could make it work.
Oh, well, obviously, Weiss could make... I've frequently stated to people that she could make a burlap sack look fabulous. But I'm just saying. But again, willpower. She's got a lot of that. So, it makes sense. Damn it, I might end up actually drawing that. That's a really cool image. Anyway... So, that's a thing that's happening. It'll come out. I'm sure at the very least you'll end up... I'll probably end up reading it just for the sake of, the novelty alone. And we'll talk about it at least a little.
Dude, I have a box with all the RWBY DC comics in it.
Of course you do.
Yeah. In fact, those, super nice, cover prints?
Yeah.
I got those as well.
Nice.
All of them, and made sure that they're still in the, pack they came in.
You got that right proper nerd cred, buddy.
Yeah, so they are mint condition.
Hell yeah.
They haven't even felt the touch of a human.
That's weird, dude, but okay. there were a lot of ways you could have phrased that.
Probably. So, I don't know. And of course, because the last one wasn't printed, due to COVID, people, because I saw some people being oh, I guess things didn't work out. And it really annoyed me, because they clearly didn't read the freaking article.
Yeah, no, but if there's anything I've learned about the internet, it's that nobody ever actually reads anything. I guarantee you're going to see about 1.5 billion people go, where's the new episode?
Probably.
And then they're they probably hadn't even heard of the weather going on in Texas. They're I don't watch the news.
I don't read the Twitter of the people I follow.
Absolute bananas.
Yeah, but, because the last one wasn't actually printed as everything, I got the one that's basically all of them in one comic book. I have a problem,
cool.
Okay?
You do, but you know what? I am an enabler of the problem. I think it's cool. I think you're a cool dude, and I'm proud to be your friend.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah. Yay! I suppose that's just about everything then, eh?
Yeah, I would say so.
Alrighty then. I hope you all had a super fantabulously wonderful time as we to really just go on a weird little rambly, nonsensical thing that's somewhat RWBY related.
I mean, it's what we do.
It's what we do.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to the next episode.
It's going to be a wee bit, but
yeah.
when it is out, we will be here, and we'll talk about it, and hopefully no one will be dead that we like.
Yeah, and just hoping that everyone in, like, America is all good. Well, everyone, like, around the world is good, because, man...
Yeah, the world. The world. It's a thing. It's happening.
Yeah.
But slowly, aggravatingly slowly, but surely, everything is improving on all fronts. I don't know how much you've been hearing, but, like, the actual storm is mostly over at this point, so it should be improving from days go by now.
He's hoping.
Yeah, so. I hope so too. So, in the 0.1% odds of anybody from Rooster Teeth ever seeing this, we wish you unbelievable good health and luck, and we respect you, and we look forward to what you're doing.
Yeah. And I think we can just wrap up the video there. So.
Yeah. All right, then. See you all later, fools.
Bye.